If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Your faded words I will choke.
Happy Top 5 Tuesday to everyone in the sports universe. It is September 13th, 2022. This is the AM Drive on our Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook pages. For Aaron Crouch, I am Michael Carvelis. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Michael. It's good to be back on the show. Sorry about your technical difficulties yesterday.
Yep. It's funny because last year you had the problem with the internet, and this year it's me apparently. So
yeah, apparently Vegas has come up in the world in terms of high quality wireless connection.
It is wild how much tourism you guys have, and the Wi-Fi is that bad.
Well, to be fair, I do live in the boonies of Vegas. I don't live right in the bustling metropolis. So,
but you're right there. Hey, for our sponsors, YouTube, shop, and socials, visit our website today. It's right there. www.mikeandaarondrive.com. If you ever want to support the show, when we know that you do, it's simple. Go there. Everything you could do, everything you could need and want, including Fanatics, Popple, Yahoo Fantasy, Pick'em Wars, our shop, our YouTube. It's all there. Aaron, tell people with our website as well. Anything you want to add?
No, it's fantastic. Like you said, I mean, it's hard to really, be involved on the internet, and you have pages taking you this way, that way, and every way every way you can think of. But just going to one website and having all the links right there, that's clutch. I mean, it's the same as when we're out and about with Popple. Hey man, blink, click this, and then they're all right there, including MikeandAaronDrive.com. So yeah, shout out, I love it.
Yeah, shout out to Linktree for sure. So how about a recap of the weekend best bets? And Aaron, I don't know what it is about you in the month of September, but you're not bad to start the season off. Like, I'm terrible in the first month of the season, even last year. And once again, you get another 3-2, which is a positive week. I go back to 2-3. You had both of your college football games hit pretty easily. You called that Kent State and Oklahoma game pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely didn't think Oklahoma would only put up 33 on the board, but I did believe that Kent State would get, around 0 to 3 points. UTSA was another one. It was a nice hit. It was a closer game than I wanted it to be. But I tell you what, it's just, I'm never going to be mad with 3-2. But at the same time, it's just like the other two, like Washington needed a late comeback to beat Jacksonville, which I thought that would be an easier win for them. And then New England and Arizona were just never in their games. I don't like losing games that I just was never in. I'm okay. Well, I can't say I'm okay, but I can survive with like, okay, I go 3-2.
You like heart attacks.
Yeah, I mean 3-2 in New England. Miami kicks a late field goal to push it over the 3.5, or Arizona throws a pick 6 to lose by 7 or something like that. Not, Arizona was never in this game.
Yeah, that's true. For me, I did call Georgia Southern basically beating Nebraska,
yes,
and they
you
did so.
Sure. Yes, you did.
And the people in Georgia, this is why they don't get good football teams, because they're like, oh my gosh, we got Scott Frost fired. No, this was just the nail. This was just like the ice cream on the cone. This was the cherry on top. This was everything. This was not the reason he lost his job.
It was the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yes. UAB Liberty don't want to talk about it. I had UAB. That's just, no. I did have the Chiefs over the Cardinals. I don't like when we're on opposite sides, because one of us has to have at least one loss. We should corroborate that. Ravens Jets. Didn't the Ravens win by more than 7?
Yeah, they covered that one easily.
Well, I was 3-2. How about that? We both had a positive week. I don't know why
Hey, there you
I got that
go.
wrong. I missed the Falcons and Saints going under. Good God. Who saw
what a
Marcus
late
Mariota going and Cordell Patterson going crazy?
Yeah, what a late push there. It was, tell you what, though, Falcons had a shot to win that game. I did tell you. I mean,
Yes, they did.
they play the Saints tough, no matter who's at the helm there. And yeah, it's a division battle in Week 1. It's insane. I mean, the NFL just proves time and time again. It goes away for 7 months. When it comes back, insanity ensues.
I do like that we're both positive. I don't know why I thought I was 2-3, but hey, both positive weeks. Tail us. Love it. Okay, I'll tell you who definitely wished that I was right about the spread, and that's the Broncos. Because the Seahawks, I guess they did play better technically because they won. But you talk about some bad breaks. I don't know has it ever happened? I'm sure it has, where like a team is down by 1 score and they fumble twice on the goal line. That just doesn't happen. Like once, that's bad break. Twice, yeah.
It's incredibly unlucky, I'll tell you that. Yeah, incredibly unlucky, I'll tell you that. I mean, first-year coaches, I haven't looked at the record. I'm curious how they performed. There were 10 of them. I know that like Kevin O'Connell won. Nathaniel
lost.
Hackett, obviously. Yeah, Doug Peterson lost. Yeah, you're correct. I mean, I don't want to go through it all right now. I'd have to look it up maybe for tomorrow's show. But I know Eberflus won as well. But it's an interesting, spot here. Nothing you can do. I mean, if you get stuffed, you get stuffed. My big issue here with this game is just curiosity about the decision to kick a 64-yard field goal.
Agreed.
I mean, you spent all these. Sorry, I had to yawn. You spent all these resources. You spent all these resources on acquiring Russell Wilson. I think if you don't feel confident that Russell Wilson can get you 5 yards in a game against the Seahawks, which honestly should never theoretically have been this close. I mean, it's not like the Seahawks did anything so spectacular in this game. However, I will say this: I was impressed with Geno Smith, and I know that's a low bar, but I mean, he did perform pretty admirably. I mean, 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns.
He's 7 touchdowns to 1 interception since he started for the Seahawks. I believe it's like a 3-game span, which isn't much. But Aaron, one of the things that I would be frustrated if I'm the Broncos, going to your point about Geno, is I was like, because I wasn't, full disclosure, I was not watching until later on. I got some on the replay. Geno Smith was a lot of dump offs. And now those are smart because it's worked for Tom Brady for years. Just honestly, that's not even a joke. Like, seriously, he takes the smart, what the defense gives him. I get it. Russell Wilson was like doubling his passing average. That's a problem. When Russell Wilson is on 4th and 5, Nathaniel Hackett says, "Now I'm good, conservative." Girl, Brian Dable was not conservative. In fact, me and Sammy, before we got cut off on our stupid Wi-Fi, we're talking about Brian Dable having the guts to go for it and change a culture. Nathaniel Hackett didn't want to do that, apparently.
Yeah, and it's kind of interesting because there are 2 different situations. Like, Brian Dable and the Giants in that game were the dog. If they lose that game, hey, look at the Giants, man. They're competitive against the Titans, this, that, and the other. And if it doesn't work, no big deal. They lose 20-19.
Right.
And if it does work, it's a phenomenal little, trick for the gambler there. It worked out for Brian Dable. He's 1-0. He's the talk of the town. The papers love him. At least. Yeah, the papers love him this week. Nathaniel Hackett, they're the dog. I mean, they're the favorite.
Yeah.
You look at this situation and
6.5, I think, too.
Yeah, they were almost a touchdown favorite.
Yes.
So the score's 17-16. So if you don't get this, the score stays the same. Whether you're talking about the field goal or whether you're talking about converting. So my point is just like I said, you spent all these resources and money to acquire Russell Wilson. Do you not trust that he can get you 5 yards? Or do you really think that Brandon McManus, who's 1 for 8 on field goals over 61 yards, do you think that was the right play? Secondly, you're right. I mean, you can't put it all on Nathaniel Hackett. I mean, 2 goal line fumbles, one by Gordon, which I think that was 4th down. And
that's a bad break, though.
It is, but I also thought he broke the plane potentially before he fumbled the ball. But
that wouldn't be enough drama, Aaron.
That would be more drama, I think. But yeah, you're right. The Broncos probably would have ended up winning anyways. Like, I mean, let's be honest. We needed drama in a half that had 3 points in it. 3 points combined in total and a half. Like, it was bad football at its finest.
It's just, I just wish that coaches would know more than fans do. I know hindsight's 20/20, and I didn't see the stat of 1 for 8 until, like, for Brandon McNair's kicks until afterwards. But you're literally paid to know the information as a coach. You have to know he's 1 of 7 prior to this point from field goals of 60+. Damn the record he made, which has now been broken. Like, that's irrelevant at this point. You have, like you said, Russell Wilson. You gave up the assets. As a coach, the front office is trusting you to use him because they gave up so much for him. And he did not do it. This is a failure in week 1.
So, sure. I mean, I have no problem pinning this on him if that's what we want to do. We want to pin him. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, Russell Wilson going back home, you really thought he'd want to cook, as we like to say, let Russ cook.
He got booed like hell, too.
Yeah, did you see they switched around the let Russ cook? They said, let's cook Russ. They were saying, let's cook Russ. Let's cook Russ. I'm surprised nobody was crying racism on that one. Anyways, I understand we want to start firing coaches in week 1 and all this stuff, but like, let's just hold the brakes. Like, he's in a tough division. He can't afford these losses. So I'm 100% fine with pinning this all on Nathaniel Hackett, but he's going to get better. He's literally never been a head coach.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a tough one. And like I said, there's no, what's the word I'm looking for? There's no weeks off. There's no underreaction. Like, if you lose to the Seahawks when you're 6.5-point favorites with Russell Wilson, who's going back home, like, people are going to talk about it for 2-3 days. Like, you need to come back. I think they play, who do they play next week? I think they play San Francisco. Like, or no, I'm sorry. They play Houston. They play Houston. The Broncos play Houston next week. Like, you have to come back. You have to get that win. You just do.
Yep. Agreed. And Lovie Smith, I'm telling you, he's going to have something to say about
it. He just might. He's definitely undefeated so far.
Right. Oh, be nice. When we come back, we're breaking down a lot of awesome stories in the NFL week 1. You don't want to go anywhere. If you like drama, you're going to stay tuned. We're right back. The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah. You want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
and welcome back here to the AM Drive on this Top 5 Tuesday. We will get to our top fives later on in the show, but we want to let you know that we didn't forget about Top 5 Tuesday. Of course, presented by Fanatics. You see that right up there in the corner. Fanatics, you see it? It's pretty. It's a flag, but it's an F. MikeandAaronDrive.com. We've talked about this, I think, once or twice. You go to that website. When you get to that website, there is Fanatics, and it tells you exactly what to do. It's one direction. What is that direction, Mike?
Got to click the F because that's what makes you beautiful. One direction.
Oh, I see what you did there. No, that's
I
actually pretty
know
good.
what?
That's pretty good. Now, you get to that Fanatics. You shop until your heart's content. It's got the best in memorabilia, apparel, merchandise from every team, every league, every player you can think of, including NIL jerseys.
Yes.
From your favorite college players as well. So go to MikeandAaronDrive.com. They've got great deals at Fanatics, like free shipping on orders over $24. Sometimes they have 50 to 60% off of site-wide items. They just got it all. I mean, if you're a sports fan and you need to stock up for the season, they've got you covered at Fanatics by going to MikeandAaronDrive.com today.
Better. Hey, so I don't know if you saw the end of this game. The Bears beat the 49ers 19-10. And if you like puddles and swimming, you'd love this game. No, lots of rain in the fourth quarter. But Aaron, the question on national sports media television was, should the Niners go back to Jimmy G? And I just want to pump a little bit of brakes on this because I'm going to let people know something here. One, not even the best quarterbacks can throw in a deluge. Okay? It's just a simple, like this game was not made for football. It's one of those arguments for should we just play indoors all the time? I know it beats the old narrative, but you know, it's a thing. Another thing is Jimmy Garoppolo is only on the 49ers because there was no trade market left for him. Let's be clear. It's a nice fallback option. You're not going to be wrong. But this team literally moved on from him and could not trade him. Okay? So do I think if Trey Lance is just god-awful? Yes, of course they're going to go back to Jimmy G. But they don't need that. They don't want that. In an average, not even a perfect, but an average world, yes, I do believe Trey Lance is their future, for better or worse. But right now, I don't like the Jimmy G talk, man. I'm sorry. Good for the Bears, though. Matt Eberflus, darn him.
Yeah, I mean, you have to really take the elements into consideration of, you know, basically a rookie quarterback starting on the road. I mean, I know he had, 2 starts last year.
You did call this, by the way.
I did?
You did say rookie quarterback on the road. I don't like it. I'm like, oh, great.
Oh, I definitely liked the Bears to cover. I didn't know I didn't think they'd win.
Right.
But like I said, those elements really just throw talent right out the window. I mean, rain really shuts down talent. I mean, but takeaways from this game, like Jimmy G. I will say it's more prevalent now than ever that they're gonna consider themselves lucky that he's still an option.
Right.
Let's put it that way. Like, he's still a backup plan. Like, let's be honest. I mean, things could go sideways for the 49ers and they start, 0-4 in a division or, 2-6 or something like that. Like, I still think it's such a weird scenario because this isn't a guy you picked up in the second round. This isn't a guy who you wasted a sixth, or not wasted, but you took a flyer on in the sixth. You traded up to get Trey Lance.
Yeah.
You traded up to number 3. I think you traded 2 or 3 first-round picks. Like, you've got a lot invested in this guy. And not only that, you've got a lot invested in this team to where the fact that you're paying nothing for quarterbacks this is the time to strike.
Yes.
The 49ers. And you're wasting those cheap years if you bench Trey Lance. I'm not saying benching Trey Lance wouldn't be the right decision at some point because, look, with this team, Jimmy Garoppolo has led them to 2 NFC championships and 1 Super Bowl.
Yes.
You have that in your back pocket, but you have to give all the full resources and time and slack and benefit of the doubt to Trey Lance, I would say, for at least half the season. But then you look at that, and if they're 3-7, what's the point of benching him at this point?
Agreed. That's what I was going to say. Like, I was thinking about the 2-6 to 3-7 thing, but really, I mean, what do you accomplish at that point besides, oh, we wasted this pick, and now their coach's job is in jeopardy, the GM's job is in jeopardy. I mean, let's be real. If 49ers cannot get over the hump with Trey Lance, a lot of guys are looking at their jobs in the mirror.
Well, and that's the thing is, I look at this situation. Okay, so 3-7, stay the course. 6-5, but you're winning in spite of Trey Lance.
I believe, I don't know how you feel, but I think with what they invested in this guy and what they try to do with Jimmy G in the offseason, things have to go completely all the way south for him to get benched. I don't.
But we just said that if they go all the way, say they're 0-10, like what's the point?
Oh yeah, then you bench him.
Why? What's the point? 3-7 and 0-10 are the same thing. You're not making the playoffs.
To keep his potential up and not have the recency bias that he sucks.
Well, if you get benched, they're going to have recency bias that you said. This decision, if it goes south, will cost Kyle Shanahan his job.
I agree.
And if it goes way south, it might cost John Lynch his job too.
I don't think
benching him is the right play at any point this season.
Right. But I think, I don't know if this is a good point, but does it seem like going with Jimmy G for another season was the right move at this point? Because you look at, I know, again, hindsight's 2020, but if you look at it now, it almost seems like they should have just got rid of Jimmy G immediately and then just built this guy up, and if he sucked, he sucked. They literally milked this cow, promised people this guy's going to be good, and now in 3 games, albeit he hasn't been.
So it's not as easy as you're trying to say, oh, get rid of this guy. Like, they could have cut him, but then they'd be on the hook for a huge amount of money, which, again,
Right.
They're already kind of with Trey Lance. If they planned on keeping or trading Garoppolo, like they had to find somebody to take $27 million off the books. And that's a large reason why nobody wanted it. It's
Right.
not the talent or lack of talent with Jimmy Garoppolo. Because if Jimmy Garoppolo was making what he's making now, the phone would have been off the hook.
Yep.
Problem is you couldn't trade him to Seattle. It's like, why would you?
The Browns thing was taking forever.
The Browns thing was so up in the air. The Colts acted pretty quickly in getting Matt Ryan.
Woohoo!
I don't know whatever the situation with Atlanta. Atlanta probably thought they were tanking, so Mariota made more sense. Although they do look like they can be competitive. I mean, like, you could go down the list. You could go Houston, whatever, but like, there already wasn't a large market, and there definitely wasn't a large market for a $27 million quarterback who's you could also tank with. You know what I mean? So it's not a bad situation that the 49ers held on to him. It's a great situation that they were able to restructure his contract. The question I just have is, I mean, he really should never see the field due to performance by Trey Lance. Good or bad. I mean, good for obvious reasons, but bad. Like, what's worse for Trey Lance's psyche is playing bad this year or being on the bench this year to Jimmy Garoppolo. Because, like I said, if you believe the rumors, he was not happy that Jimmy Garoppolo got re-signed or restructured, I guess.
Really?
If you believe the rumors that are out there, Trey Lance was not happy that Jimmy Garoppolo is back, even though they'll play the he's my buddy. He's been a great mentor.
Boom
I
time.
appreciate everything.
It's competition.
Yeah, I don't ever believe. I mean, I believe you can be friendly off the field or whatever.
Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis, like, come on, guys.
Well, no, they're probably not BFFs or anything, but they probably aren't. They're probably not giving each other the side eye.
Yeah, but I don't think Trey Lance is giving Jimmy G the side eye, but it's definitely because Jimmy G's just a nice, good-looking guy. But it's like,
yeah, I mean, I'd like to, if I'm Trey Lance, and I'm single, I want to hang out with Jimmy G because he attracts beautiful females. So
let's move on.
But as far as the football goes, I mean, I wouldn't be too happy that they restructured him. I mean, that means that's always in my peripheral vision, Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Psyche, yeah, you're right. You're right.
Might become a weird season for the 49ers. We'll see.
Ooh, that's not good for my Super Bowl pick. I picked them to win it. Ugh.
They're still a great team, and if he's the straw. He's the straw that stirs the drink.
Agree. Steelers beat the Bengals 23-20 in overtime. This game did not deserve to finish. I'm telling you right now, this thing, I was like, good God. And that someone made a great point on Twitter that Evan McPherson is going to be doing a lot less talking for a few weeks than he was last year.
Yeah, a lot less of this whole, ice in the veins.
Ice in my veins. Yeah, as a kicker, you need it. As for the Steelers, Trubisky wasn't bad. I mean,
Correct,
I've always said that. Well, what's this?
Oh, boy.
Trubisky wasn't bad. Najee Harris avoided catastrophe because he wasn't very good in that game, but then he's going to be back supposedly next week, like this coming up week. TJ Watt may only be out like a few weeks. So things could not have gone better for the Steelers, and Joe Burrow had a bunch of turnovers. I can't even count them all.
Yeah, he had 5, I believe. But hey, like we talked about, the Steelers held tough. They were advantageous and created opportunistic. Their defense, that's the way they operate. The defense is going to be the calling card of this team. Najee Harris, man, that guy he just can't ever seem to find space to run the ball. I don't know if that's on him or if that's on like the offensive line in front of him. Like you said, Trubisky was fine. I mean, I'm not going to bag on Trubisky. He wasn't great, but he was fine. But this was the way the Steelers were going to win the game. They had to take advantage of the Bengals being a little bit off their game. Like I said, Joe Burrow with the appendix, no preseason. You saw really 0 preseason affected a lot of people this year, at least in week 1.
True. Yeah, I can see that.
So,
Buccaneers were going to get you didn't look great either.
No, they didn't look fantastic, but the defense always catches up fast on the offense. It's just always been that way. It's especially a unit that's always been together, or at least the majority of them have been together.
Right.
I know that Najee got hurt, so that kind of put a damper on things. But like, Steelers walk away with a win. That's all that matters. These are the kind of wins they're going to get. They're not going to blow teams out, and they definitely. I mean, you take away the pick six, obviously they lose, and you take away probably 3 of Joe Burrow's turnovers. Cincinnati probably wins this game pretty easily. But the NFL's a tough sport, man. The NFL's tough.
You talk about like one of the things we're talking about is the Packers panicking. If I'm the Bengals right now, I'm not feeling good. Now, Mike did not say this first whatsoever, by the way, but me and you have been kind of cautioning people. This could be a tougher year. I don't know if they're going to miss the playoffs, but this is a game you kind of have to have week 1.
Agreed. Yeah, you can't lose the games. Game. But what I told you when we were playing the win totals game is these division games, especially the 50-50 games, the ball bounces the wrong way and you got an L on the board. I mean, like I said, the pick six. I mean, say Minka Fitzpatrick doesn't have a pick six.
Right.
Bengals might have won this game a little bit easier. I know they had to come back and get the 20, and like you said, Evan McPherson making the 29-yard field goal. I mean,
I have a question. I'm glad you mentioned that again because this has to be asked. For years and years, the NFL is teetered with the fans and analysts have teetered with the fact of no more kickers. Now, I'll be honest. For a good 10, 15 last 15 years, we've had some really good kickers in really big moments. Okay? But as obviously less and less kickers are good, I mean, let's say McPherson ends up crapping his pants again. I'm not saying he's like the guy who moves the needle, but when Brandon McNair and Chris Boswell retire, who's left? Younghoe Koo? When are they going to, I know this is a story for another day, but is this a problem in the NFL? Because a lot of guys were missing stupid kicks yesterday. That's a problem to me.
So I'll preface this by saying I'm fine either way. They get rid of kickers and they make you really kind of go for it, and they just take down the goalpost, and I'll survive. I mean, the game has already changed so much, but the fact is the kickers are a part of the game for better or for worse.
That's my point.
By that logic, okay, we take away the bad kickers, so we should take away all kickers. Well, there's bad quarterbacks, so should we take away all quarterbacks? What's the philosophy in that? I mean, there's bad quarterbacks out there. There's bad offensive lines. Chicago was supposed to have a bad offensive line, so they should just forfeit every game? Like, this is why you go out there and play games. Like, I mean, yeah, 99 times out of 100, your guy's going to make a 29-yard field goal. But when the pressure's on, when there's 60,000 fans, it's not easy. Yeah, it's a lot of it's mental. I mean, the same thing with in a Super Bowl with 100,000 people and 100 million people watching at home. Like, you got to go lead your team to a 2-minute drive down the field to get the game-winning touchdown. Like, a lot of this stuff is just, it's insane. Like, we can't fathom standing out there from 45 yards away and trying, or God forbid, 60. What was
Imagine
it,
not shaking.
yards?
Like, these guys don't even shake.
I'm sure they're shaking, or they're, or some of them have been at least in these kinds of situations before. Like, you got to think about, like, Joe Burrow. Like, he's been in national championships. He's been in Super Bowls at this point. Like, the game-winning drive where he just, like, not to use the term again, had ice in his veins. Like, he let him down the field. Like, this is the greatness that is football. Like, we talk about all these great things. Yeah, it sucks for, Joe Burrow to lead his team down the field only to get beat, by his kicker missing a field goal who was automatic in the playoffs. Like, but that's part of the game. I mean, if people get pissed because their bet loses because your guy misses a field goal, or, the under doesn't hit, or the under does hit and you had the over, like, I think it's silly to get rid of kicking because it's part of the game. I mean, you can't play football and you never use your foot except for punting. But I don't necessarily agree with it. But if they were to do it, it's fine, I guess. But
I think to our point about the kickers being okay. One last point here. Last week, actually, my best of the weekend was teammates of East Carolina kicker Owen Daffer, their quarterback. Like, the quarterback told Owen Daffer, "Hey, we need you if we're going to win a conference championship." After he missed that extra point, that field goal, I like that. I thought that was great leadership. It shows you that football players really they care for those kickers. That they'll have their backs. Remember when Cody Parkey was terrible for the Bears in the playoffs?
The double
it cost
doink,
Trubisky a playoff game. Yeah.
And I think that's the year that the Eagles went on to win the Super Bowl.
Ooh, love it. How much of that Trubisky could have beaten? Never mind.
Trubisky, that's Rex Grossman all over again.
Lord. Browns defeat the Panthers 26-24. Man, Baker Mayfield has got to be feeling some kind of way. I watched a lot of this game, and Baker Mayfield did not look good. 4 fumbles is like, I don't care how much of a new team it is, that's an issue. And don't tell me, it was the Cleveland fans. Baloney. And then like the thing like how they got robbed somehow. No. Baker had 4 fumbles. I don't think he lost any of those, but it's obviously 4 busted and dead plays at that point. Christian McCaffrey scored a touchdown for the hell of fantasy, but that's about it. And then the Browns, Jacoby Brissett missed every wide open throw you can imagine, but Nick Chubb and then Jacoby did just enough. Browns won.
Yeah, I mean, a 58-yard field goal at the end by a rookie kicker in the 4th round. Really,
kickers.
Yeah, really. That's a great segue here. Can you talk about how Evan McPherson, what he did in the playoffs last year, and for him to miss a 29-yard field goal, and then you look at a 58-yarder from a rookie in the 4th round, like these are the things that saves the day. Like if this guy doesn't make a 58-yard field goal, then we're talking about Baker getting revenge on his old team. You know what I'm saying? Like, the storylines and the narratives can flip on just the smallest little instances in the NFL. And that's almost what makes it great. I mean, Like I said, I went 1-2 betting in our AM Drive 5, and it's tough. The NFL is so tough. People who tell me they've mastered the NFL, I don't believe you. It's so difficult. So, I mean, if you think you have, God bless you. But
thank you.
Yeah, I mean, I think the takeaway on this one really is Cleveland. I mean, they still have this 2-headed horse. I mean, Chubb with 141 and Kareem Hunt had, 2-3 touchdowns?
Yeah, Hunt didn't seem bothered by trade rumors.
No, I mean, he's going to play it out. I mean, and the better he plays, the more somebody's going to want him. So, I mean, you look at it this way. Cleveland can hang. Let's put it this way. They can hang. I mean, they've shown, like, in this division, they probably can not hang with the Ravens, but they can hang with the rest of that division. Now, again,
sorry, Bengals.
what to make with Cincinnati right now. It's, again, 1 week. You don't want to overreact too much, but Cleveland can hang. Carolina, you're right. They shut down some of those
ain't bad either,
fumbles.
though, in terms of that Bengals thing.
Oh,
Go ahead.
the Browns defense is fine.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, the Browns, like I said, the running, they're going to play old school football, running the ball and playing solid defense until Deshaun Watson gets back. But that's a long way. That's 3 months away. So, I mean, a little less, but you know what I mean.
Week 12.
It'd be cool if he played Houston. That'd be interesting. It's like his first game back was against Houston. I think that'd be a neat.
Yeah, who could script that? Why would he mind do that?
Yeah, Carolina. To me, this is kind of a problem because I really felt like, 14 touches from McCaffrey. That's not enough
At all.
I understand you don't want him to get hurt, but every time Christian McCaffrey is healthy, he should have 20 plus touches a game. 100%.
That's putting it lightly.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. Like I said, I know it's a long season. You don't want him to get injured. I know that's kind of his MO. Then you probably should have signed somebody else maybe you should have traded for Kareem Hunt when he was requesting a trade. But like if you don't trust Christian McCaffrey for 20 touches a game, you're screwed. You're just screwed. I mean, he had 10 carries and he had 4 targets and he caught all 4 targets. Like, I'm sorry, he should be 15 carries a game, 8-9 catches a game.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, exactly. At least 8 to 9 targets a game for sure.
Right.
But I wasn't. But like maybe that was more on Baker. I don't know. Time will tell. But we'll see what happens here with both these teams. I mean, it's a big win for Cleveland I know they almost blew the game, but it's a big win for Cleveland to hold on. And they get the Jets, who could easily make the Cleveland 2-0. And then the Panthers get the Giants, which could easily make them 0-2. So we'll see.
Say it again for the people in the back.
Oh, boy.
Hey, Vikings beat the Packers 23-7. Is it panic time in Titletown? I'll go first here again. And Aaron, I'm not just saying this because of last year's team that did ultimately make the NFC divisional round and should have made the NFC championship. That's not my business. I'm saying this because as stupid as I was for picking the Packers to actually win this game, I understand why they lost the way they did. Vikings have a system in place. Packers just lost Devontae Adams, and I believe are playing 2 rookie wide receivers. Like that's not good. As great as Aaron Rodgers is, as much as I think he'll figure this thing out and they could possibly win the division anyways, the Vikings are no slouch. Kirk Cousins may not be the greatest quarterback. He doesn't give the ball away too much, man. Like, he makes good decisions. And Justin Jefferson, good God darn almighty, he's good. I think the Vikings just put a statement down, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Packers came back weeks from now and beat them in Green Bay.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a situation. Here we go again. Aaron Rodgers played 0 snaps in the preseason. Maybe getting accustomed with some of these guys might have made sense. I don't know. It's in the past. You can't change it.
Who knows?
But here's a wrinkle that I'm sure people thought of, but I'll propose it to you: is you look at Kirk Cousins' head coaches in his career, Mike Shanahan, whoever was hired after Mike Shanahan, and Mike Zimmer. Like, he's had defensive-minded, old-school head coaches. Like, now they bring in Kevin O'Connell, who's all offense all the time. And he kind of, for lack of a better word, he let Kirk cook. I know that sounds cheesy. Yeah, don't cook your cousins, but cook for your cousins.
God.
But I mean, you had Dalvin, who was healthy. They got 126 yards out of the backfield there, and I mean Justin Jefferson is just on another level now. There will need to be some spread outness, for lack of a better word, of the offense. It can't all go through Jefferson every week. He's going to have better cornerbacks on him who will cover him, to the tune of not 9 for 184 and 2 touchdowns.
Packers ain't bad in the secondary, though.
No, I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying, like, but by the time it was 20-0 by that time. So
you're saying Jalen Ramsey might shut him down.
I don't know if Jalen Ramsey can shut down anyone at this point. Last 2 games, he's gotten cooked.
Whoa.
Let's cook Jalen. But I mean, yeah, it's a problem when AJ Dillon is your leading receiver. Like that's not good for the brand. I mean, look, for my fantasy purposes, it's great when AJ Dillon's the leading receiver.
Right.
But for the purposes of your team, yeah, AJ Dillon should not be your leading receiver. Now I understand, your Lazard was out, but would that really have made a huge impact? I don't know. So it remains to be seen. I'm not ready to put my stamp on this one, but it remains to be seen. I understand Devontae Adams is one of the best receivers in the league. Don't get me wrong, but is he really that valuable to this offense?
Not Aaron Rodgers, no.
We'll see. Like I said, not yet. I'm not ready to say that yet, but we will see. We will definitely see.
I can see it on your shoulder, so you're getting close.
But like you said, is it panic time? No, because the same thing happened last year when they got destroyed by Jameis, and they still were like 13-4. So I mean, as much as I bash Aaron Rodgers, he's got the tools to do more with less.
Yes. You said let your cousins cook. I know we like to sing on the show. Sweet home Alabama. Come on. Alrighty. Chiefs beat the Cardinals 44. Yeah, 44-21. Aaron, is Kansas City still that team without Tyreek Hill?
Short answer, yes. I mean, it's that easy. They are still that team without, and they showed it. They 100% showed it here in this last week. Like, I wasn't low on Kansas City, but I was higher necessarily on Arizona coming out, starting the season, and trying to get, at least, like I said, keep it within a touchdown for sure. But I mean, Pat Mahomes made everybody look good. I mean, Edwards-Helaire had 2 touchdowns on the ground. Travis
Juju
through
had
the air,
80 yards catching.
Yeah, Juju had 80 yards. Travis, his ho-hum 120 and a touchdown. Like, Sky Moore only 1 target. Okay, hopefully they'll get him a little more integrated in the offense here. But I mean, McCole Hardman had a touchdown. I mean, everybody was having a field day. Like,
you had a touchdown.
Yeah, pretty much. He threw 5 of them. But yeah, it's a sight to see. Like, we will, I guess, keep on rolling. I don't know why people ever really doubted the Chiefs. I know that the AFC West got better, but they're still the cream of the crop. And I mean, I know I've been beating this drum all summer, but they're the team to beat in the AFC West. I don't care what you say about the Chargers. It doesn't matter to me.
Full disclosure, I have been on the bandwagon as well for the Chiefs. I have been right there. I think they're both going to finish really good. And this week, Thursday Night Football, woohoo!
Yeah, that should be a good early season test. Like, what are we going to look at here? I hate Thursday Night Football. I really hate it when these big matchups with big implications happen on Thursday Night Football. Friday, I can live with Friday, but Thursday's so quick of a turnaround for these guys. It's not fair.
To me, Cardinals don't have a great defense, but Mahomes making 44 on any team is pretty stinking good.
Oh, yeah. Getting 44 on any team is good. I don't care, if it's the Bears. Like, putting 44 up is hard to do in the NFL.
Yep.
If it was easy, they'd all be doing it. But, Mahomes on another level. Mahomes is just on another level. And I'm so happy that, Tyreek Hill is gone. Like, we talked about, you just talked about Devontae Adams, and you question his value to the Packers. Like, they just proved that Tyreek Hill's value to the Chiefs was Pat Mahomes. Like, it's nice for Pat Mahomes to have that, where's Tyreek? Oh, he's 40 yards down the field. Yeah, well, of course, 100%. But I'm just saying, I'm still in the camp that there's probably 2 to 3 wide receivers in the league that really matter, and the rest are interchangeable.
Did you see that stat of how many games it's taken Pat Mahomes to get 5+ touchdowns for 8 times or whatever? 75 games he did it. Everyone else is at 300 games played.
Yeah, and he's gonna break that record real easily, maybe before 100 games. Yeah, I think he has 6 games of 5 touchdowns.
Right, and that's already
in 60-something games,
and Brady or whatever.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, but I mean, it's impressive.
Sickening.
He also has no running game. If he had a running game, he might not have those kind of stats.
The Edwards-Helaire fumbled again, and that's not even a joke.
Yeah, I know. Well, I need him to stay good because I have him in fantasy as well.
Yeah. Bucks beat the Cowboys in what was just an ugly, god-awful. I hated watching every bit of this game, by the way. 19-3. And if insult to injury, or injury to insult, I guess, Dak Prescott hurt his thumb, or one of his fingers, I guess, on his throwing hand. Now he's out for a century. Zeke and Pollard were freaking terrible. I mean, good. Mike McCarthy, and I wish people would have heard me say yesterday with Sammy Action. Mike McCarthy's a bad coach, man. This team, I think, had like 7 penalties a game last year. They had like 10 in this one. That's not good. Tom Brady's getting sacked. Okay, big whoop. You're scoring 3 more points than me and Aaron did on the team. Come on, man. Okay, Buccaneers defense was good. Wasn't that good?
Yeah, I mean, call it what you will. I mean, the Buccaneers have had Tom Brady has had Dallas' number throughout his career. The Buccaneers have had it the last 2 seasons. The big problem is Dak is gone. Like, you could have survived this loss. Like, if Dak's still healthy,
Right.
You go through it. Okay, we got our tail whooped at home on TV, on the big stage. Let's move past this, because it wasn't like I thought Dallas' defense played fine.
Agreed.
I thought they definitely showed that the defense is going to be a good calling card for this team. But like, now you take out Dak, who I thought, in my opinion, is a franchise quarterback.
He's not a franchise quarterback. He may not be a top tier.
Well, let's put it this way: there are people paid like a franchise quarterback that are not franchise quarterbacks.
Amen.
And when I say franchise quarterback, that's not a blanket term. Like, franchise quarterbacks, like, that somebody, I can't remember 15. Who said it. No, not even that. I'm saying, like, when I consider a franchise quarterback is if I turn on the TV and I see this guy playing in the game.
You have
confidence. I know his team's not getting blown out.
Good point.
You know what I mean? Like, I might not be able to see the score, but I know it's close. They might be losing by 10, but they're not losing by 30. Like, does that make sense? Right. Yeah, like, and not even every game, just like some games ever. Like, you don't like. Okay, Patrick Mahomes is a franchise quarterback. Aaron Rodgers, even though he just got beat by 16, to me has earned the right of franchise quarterback. Tom Brady, like, I think Dak Prescott is a franchise quarterback.
No, like you saw, he's not on that level, but he's still a franchise quarterback. He's not, a world-beating Hall of Famer, but you can still be a franchise quarterback and not be that.
So let me put it this way: I think franchise is the top, and the next one is like elite, or use whatever words you want.
Elite, or you mean franchise and elite?
I think okay. Let's put it that way then: elite at the top,
right?
If we want to use that word. And then
right.
Franchise, being paid like a franchise quarterback, is the next step. Like, I maybe I'm crazy, but I put Dak in that. I think Dak's elite. I really do.
Ooh.
And I think this is a huge loss, and it's a problem for them. And I'm sure Philly fans are going to love this because they have ability. Because Dak may not play that game. I think that their first game's week 6. But Philly's got an easy track here to the division if they can have a hot start for the first 3 months,
right?
While Dak's out.
Big Nick Sirianni.
The other problem here is CeeDee Lamb a number 1 receiver? I don't know.
And that's sad. And I'll put on one more thing here, Dak point, and I'll move on here. We'll take a commercial to our top 5s. The fact that people have faith in the Cowboys at all shows you Dak is franchise quarterback. Like, it's not like he's just like, replace the guy like they're doing with the Giants. It's like they're saying, we can win with this guy, but they're telling him to step up. But that's a franchise quarterback, yeah.
That's where I see it, and I think this is a big problem. You lose 19-3 to the Bucks, okay, ho-hum. Shit happens. But you lose Dak for upwards of 6 to 8 weeks, like, that's a problem.
Cooper Rush time. We'll be right back.
Yikes.
The AM Drive with Mike and Aaron might be the best morning show ever. If you love the show, shop the merchandise for $26 hoodies, $16 shirts, even $13 mugs. High quality swag for cheap because Mike and Aaron love the fans. The best morning show, the lowest price merch at amdrive.online.
This is Popple, the next generation business card. With just a tap, your Popple instantly shares your digital business card to both iPhone and Android devices. The best part? The other person doesn't need an app or a Popple to receive your info. To pop your info, tap your Popple to the top of an iPhone, the center of an Android, or just scan your in-app QR code. And just like that, all your info is saved to their phone. More connections, more leads, more sales. That's Popple. Download our free app and get your Popple today.
Aren't you the Vice Golf guy?
Yeah, you want an autograph?
Yeah. Actually, I was just wondering if the balls are any good.
The balls are amazing. You look like a Pro Plus guy.
I thought you'd never ask. It's actually better than my old ball.
And it's half the price.
Top performing golf ball, half the price. It's almost stealing.
Quit searching the globe and get your high-performing golf balls at vicegolf.com.
Fanatics.com, the world's largest collection of officially licensed fan gear from all the leagues, teams, and players you love. Shop now and get today's special offer. Fanatics.com, officially licensed everything.
Welcome back to Top 5 Tuesday here on the AM Drive. Go to MikeandAaronDrive.com as always and sign up for Yahoo Fantasy Football. If you don't do it this week, you're not going to be able to get it done. Just letting you guys know. So it's up to you.
True that.
Top 5 teams in baseball week 22. Aaron, because Sammy gave us a list, I'll read his first, and you can go. Dodgers at 1. Hey, go figure. Mets at 2, don't agree. Sorry. Yankees 3, Astros 4, and the Cardinals at 5. I don't see any Braves in there. Go ahead, Aaron.
Yeah, I'm surprised he's got Cardinals in over the Braves. Although the Cardinals have been hot.
Yep.
I got Dodgers, Astros, Mets, Braves, Yankees here in this spot. I gave the tip of the cap to the Mets just because I know they slid a little bit, and then the Braves overtook them in the division. But then they kind of went on a little run there and got themselves back 2 games above the Braves. So that's the slight tip of the cap, but you could do 3A and 3B with the Braves and Mets there.
Amen. I got Dodgers, who just beat the Padres, I believe 2 out of 3. Astros at 2. Yankees, who just beat the Rays in a big Red Sox series coming up. I know it's nothing talked about, but Red Sox have been playing a little bit better. But yeah, Yankees at 3. 4th place are the Braves, or I don't know if they're losing their edge or not. Number 5 is the Mets. This might be the end of the fall, or it might be the beginning of the fall finally. And I've got the Cardinals as my honorable mention if they do well and the Mets continue to.
No, the good thing for the Mets is that I'd like to think there's not enough time left in the season for them to completely fall. Does that make sense? We've got 140 games in here, so we're looking at 20 games or so. So
you're right. I mean, they're at least probably in it, yeah.
I mean, they're definitely in the playoffs. I mean, let's be honest. The Braves currently are 10 games above the next wild card team behind them, and the Mets are 2 games above the Braves. So theoretically, right now they're 12 games ahead of the second wild card team. So.
Love it. Top 5 college football teams. We don't know if it's called the NCAA or what anymore, but you get it. Sammy's got Georgia, Ohio State, Michigan, Alabama, and Oklahoma. Aaron, for me, if I could go first here on this one, I've got Georgia, Ohio State. I've got Alabama at 3, and I'm actually very angry that the AP poll has 9 people who voted for Alabama number 1. Do sexy points not matter for Alabama or just for everyone else? Is that what we're doing here? Number 4 for me is Michigan. Number 5 is Clemson. But I don't like their offense. I can see Oklahoma's defense has not been bad, so I can see that as well.
It's funny that you mentioned that because I left Bama number 1.
So,
I mean, I'm
why?
sorry. They were in the toughest test of the weekend, correct?
No, it was an unranked team.
So Texas wouldn't beat Samford?
Okay,
Texas wouldn't beat Arkansas State? I mean, you look at it, it's OSU versus Arkansas State. It's Georgia
Yes.
versus Samford, which I didn't think the 30-point victory was good enough, in my
and Michigan
opinion.
versus God forbid whoever.
Michigan versus Hawaii.
Yeah.
Look, did Bama look a little shaky? Sure, but they didn't lose.
Okay, Quinn Ewers was taken out in like the first quarter.
They might have lost that game if Quinn Ewers played.
Their
100%.
backup was hobbled the entire second half.
Let me just say 3 words.
Oh no.
Texas is back. Maybe not.
Oh,
But my point is that they're the number 1 team. They were in the toughest game.
that's fair.
They probably should have lost this, that, and the other. To be the champ, you got to beat the champ. They're number 1 for me. It's definitely a small window, though, for 100% small window. Bama, UGA, Ohio State, Michigan, and then I threw USC in as my of Clemson, Oklahoma, and USC. They've looked the most impressive through 2 weeks for me. Clemson's definitely not looked the most impressive. I'm sorry.
I wasn't thinking about Oklahoma.
35-12. Yeah, I mean it was between Oklahoma and USC, and I decided to throw them in just because. I mean, like I said, Oklahoma probably should have. This is the league we put up style points in. Oklahoma 33-3 is not sexy enough for me.
Sex does sell, so yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Top 5 teams in the NFL. I'll do Sammy, and I'll let you go. He's got Chiefs at 1, good man. Buccaneers at 2. Chargers at 3. Dolphins at 4 and Vikings at 5.
Could you repeat those?
Yeah. He's got Chiefs, Buccaneers, Chargers, Dolphins, Vikings in that order.
No Bills?
That might have been off the cuff. But Bills did have a few turnovers.
Yeah, but to say they're not a top 5 team, I'm willing to bet because it was Thursday he forgot. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that one. For me, Bills are number 1. I understand what the Chiefs did.
God.
I'm highly impressed. Bills are number 1. Chiefs are number 1A. Call it 2.
Wow.
For me, Ravens 3. I know they struggled a little bit in the beginning with the Jets. Ravens 3, Bucks 4, Vikings 5 for me. Beating Aaron Rodgers gets you up there. I don't care what weekend season it is.
You might be blown away by my list then.
Okay.
Honorable mention for me is the Buccaneers. I've got the Ravens at 1.
By the way, I will say this: the Bucs should be in the top 5 based on what their defense did. But I know you base it all on what Brady does.
Whoa. Number 1, the Ravens. Number 2, I've got the Bills. Because I don't like the turnovers. I'm sorry. Number 3, I've actually got the Vikings. Because I put a lot of stock into that first win. Like they punched them. I
have no problem with this so far. I don't agree with it, but I don't have a problem with it.
Chiefs at 4 for me because although they just scored 44, their defense is still kind of got some holes in it. I feel like Cardinals had a tumultuous offseason with that Kyler Murray thing. They still dropped 21 points. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes was great. But that Chargers game is going to be a little bit different, in my opinion. And 5th place is the Eagles.
Yeah, we don't have time in the show, but dude, Cardinals, it was what 37-7. They gave up 2 touchdowns when they were. So let's not put too much emphasis in that. I think your ranking is a little jumbled, but I don't hate the teams that are in there. So, but it's week 1. It's week 1.
Sammy missed the Bills.
I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt that he just forgot about the Bills. So
fair enough.
All right, that's gonna do it for us here on this Top 5 Tuesday. Appreciate you guys listening, all your supports. Make sure that you continue to support on MikeandAaronDrive.com. It's right there. You can see it right across the screen. MikeandAaronDrive.com. Follow us on the Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel as well. So for Michael Carvelis and the non-Bill loving Sammy Action, I am Aaron Crouch saying, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your day. And as always,